when I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night skies or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold. Can you even imagine? Do you really know what is within you? Can you even fathom the love that is in you to have, to feel, to give? Can you even imagine the joy that is within you that is just waiting to come forth? Can you even imagine the peace and prosperity of this universe if every single one of us knew that when we looked into our eyes, we would see the soul of humankind and see God? No matter where we are, no matter who we were with, can you even fathom how brilliant you are? How talented you are? How joyful you are? How much you have to give this universe? Can you even imagine? I don't think we can. I really don't think we can. And just like those old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? Can you even imagine how old you are? I mean, think about it. You are sitting on a mountain of wisdom. You are. You are sitting on all the wisdom of the universe, just waiting for you, as Curtis said earlier, to just wake up one day and say, oh my God, I know who I am. And just, and life just takes off. The wisdom of the universe, the infinite intelligence of the universe is right there in your eyes. Because you are not your age, you are not a number, you are infinite life. This week, when I picked the kids up at school, my children always love to tell their friends how old I am. I take it as a compliment. I really do. I think they say, God, he doesn't look as old as we're about to tell you he really is. And so this little girl, instead of that happening, this little girl came up to me and she said, how old are you? And I thought I was being set up. So I just said, I'm 58 years old. And she said, wow. She said, you must know so much. And in my rather momentary cynical self, I just looked at her and I went, you have no idea. And she laughed, and then my kids came running up, and I was set up, and we moved on. But later on in the day, this is when it really gets cool. Later on in the day, that moment played out in my head, and I said to myself, oh my God, James, you have no idea how much you know. And I was like, oh my God, I was talking to myself. You must know so much. My dear friends, you have no idea how much you know. You have no idea how much there is in you that has yet to be lived. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 13. I don't care if you're 103. You have not even begun to live this wisdom, this intelligence. None of us have. And that's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. You must know so much. You have no idea. I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference I can make. Karen just sang. And I noticed when she got to that moment, she was defiant. I am here to make a difference. Do you know that you are here to make a difference? You are not just some marker waiting for the next generation to step in. You are not just some life that is playing itself out, waiting to be done. No matter where you are a life that matters. You are a person that matters. You are God. And you are an expression of God that really matters. Every single aspect of your life matters. It matters how you wake up. It matters what you think. It matters what you say. It matters how you love. It matters that you allow people to love you. It matters. It matters that you use your talents. It matters that you let out what is in you to let out. It matters. Your life matters. You have no idea how much your life matters. And because of that, it is imperative that we learn to let go of the facts. Because they just might show up and tell us that we don't matter. Because they just might show up and tell us a different story. And I am here today to tell you the only story worth telling is the story that that little girl pulled out of me. That you have no idea what is in store for you. Jeannie Francis did one of our mental minutes, and I just put it out today on my Facebook. And she used a quote from the Bible, and it was this: "I can of my own self do nothing." Now, when she brought that quote to me, a Bible quote, "I can of my own self do nothing," the old me would have jumped right on that and said, "Oh, don't find a better quote," because it seems a little dualistic. It's from the Bible after all. But I don't feel that way anymore. I have no idea how much truth was in the Bible, is in the Bible. We just have to figure it out. We just have to be willing to look at it. I can of my own self do nothing can sound very dualistic, but it's not dualistic, because there is no place in time ever where I am of my own self, separate from the truth. No time at all. How often have you ever tried to be of your own self? And how did that work out for you? Because when we step away from our truth, from our power, when we step away from who we truly are, I am going to be talking like a soprano all morning. When we step away from that, then you know what? We are of our own selves, and it gets very lonely. And we're trying so hard to make something happen, as Curtis say, that already happened. I can of my own self do nothing, and yet, when I plug in and remember who I am, there is nothing that I can't do. Because when I remember, when I actually remember to look into your eyes, and it's like watching a night sky or a beautiful sunrise, there is so much that those eyes hold. There's so much that my soul holds. There's so much that my beingness holds when I'm willing to tap into it. Because that quote really is, "I can of myself do nothing. It is the Father in me that doeth the work." It is the power in me that doeth the work. It is who I am that does the work. And guess what? When I know who I am, it's not so much work anymore. I'm not killing myself to make things happen. I am allowing that within me to make and allow things to happen. You have no idea, James. Really. And then in the song it says, we didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. Lest you think I forgot what happened on the East Coast today, I didn't. I just wanted to wait till this moment to talk about it. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. This week we got to see the great equalizer in all things. I have a lot of friends. I'm from the East Coast. I spent my summers in Atlantic City. I have a lot of family there and friends. And I spoke to them when I could, because most of them I couldn't get to. I couldn't speak to. But finally I got to speak to them. And yes, some of them lost houses. And yes, some of them lost friends. And some of them lost power. And all I kept hearing was, we've lost power. We're waiting for power to come back. And I thought, aren't we all? Did it go by? Did it pass anyone else, this concept that people can feel that they've lost power? Because I think we've put a lot of power, a lot of focus, a lot of faith on that kind of power and forgot about this kind of power, which has so much more to offer than that kind of power. In fact, this power created that power. And there's absolutely nothing that can stop this power, ever. One of the best images I saw this week watching Hurricane Sandy. Who names these? I mean, really. I now don't, when I hear Sandy, I think hurricane. I don't think the dog and Annie. Or, Olivia Newton-John. So, the most interesting visual I saw when I was watching all that I was watching with Hurricane Sandy was this image of this neighborhood on the East Coast. And what it was all these Romney and Obama signs laying on the ground interspersed. And I thought to myself, the great equalizer. Thank you for whirling through and reminding us that we may think we are choosing the next president on Tuesday, but there is something far greater than any of us choosing the president of the United States on Tuesday. And with that in mind, yes, I will vote. Some of my family members said that they don't vote anymore. They don't think their vote counts. And I could have gone into a huge, thank God they didn't tell that to Kevin. I could have gone into a huge discussion with them about what counts and what matters. But you know what? I didn't think it was important to do that. Every single vote counts. Every single person counts. Every single person matters. And yet, once everyone has mattered, there's something far greater than an individual choice that will matter in this election. And Hurricane Sandy came through to kind of show us that. And that image of all of those placards laying on the ground, I was like, oh my God, what a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant image. I had to learn in the song. I had to learn what I've got and what I'm not and who I am. I had to learn what I've got and what I'm not and who I am. You need to know who you are. I know who you are. I can look into your eyes and see who you are. I can see the good. I can see the talent. I can see the success. I can also see what you're not. And very often we do focus our attention on what we're not. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today, other than to say, stop it. Stop looking at what you're not. Allow yourself to know what you are, because then you know who you are. The title of my talk today is Say Uncle, and it is about giving up. And the song says, I won't give up on us, and I won't. I will not give up on us as a whole. I will not give up on us as one thing. I will not give up on the us that is the one people, one mankind, one divine mankind. I will not give up on the concept that someday every single person, like Curtis C. Jackson, will wake up and know who they are, and suddenly all religions will disappear. They will just be placards on the ground. Catholic. I lost everybody else. Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, Baha'i, religious scientists, all of us will just be these big things on the ground. And that swirling energy of truth will be going, yeah, you thought you were that, you're not. I will not give up on that concept of life and that concept of religion and that concept of truth. I won't. I just will not give up on that. There was no fighting Sandy. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was no fighting Sandy. You had to let it do what it needed to do. So for all of us that spend time in our lives fighting, we got to learn to allow God to do what it needs to do. When I was younger, I have an older brother named Tommy. When I was younger, he used to like to, when no one was around, he used to like to jump on me and hold me on the ground really tight so that I couldn't move. And I have this actually that's how I probably got it. But I do have this thing about not wanting to be contained. And I would just, and he would be yelling to me, say uncle, and I'd be like screaming, and I would not say uncle, because I would not lose. I refused to lose. And I would struggle and fight, and it was just this really fun time for him. And I would struggle and fight and cry, and then finally I would give up and say uncle, and he would get up and walk away. Now it's not that sad. The brothers, that's what they do. Actually, Will and Nora do that, but that's another story. So, one day, something happened. And he must have hit me at a moment that I was just not in the mood, like I was ever in the mood, but like I was really just not in the mood, and I just went, uncle. As soon as he started. And he was like, you are no fun. And he walked away. I was like, awesome. So in other words, if I don't fight him, he has nothing to have fun with. And so that kind of was the end of this whole Tommy Jimmy fight thing, because there was nothing more to fight, because I gave up. So, today I'm here to ask you, what in your life do you have to say uncle to? The reality of all of this is that we really can't accept the truth of who we are if we're fighting to hold on to a misconception of who we are. We need to surrender that misconception and grab onto the truth. You are as old as the stars, the song says. You are the ancient soul within all souls. You have the capacity to tap into that within you that knows something, that knows who it is. But it's hard to allow yourself to know that when you're knowing yourself as something else. Today could be the day that we all allow ourselves to know something else other than what we think we know. I am so willing at any moment to not know anything. For a person that has had such control issues in the past, I'm working on them. I am so easily, aren't I, Rita? I am so easily ready to say, I have changed. Thank you, and so have you. I am so ready and willing these days to just say, I don't know. Because when I say I don't know, I use the little I, because I know that something in me really, 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 really does know. I am as old as the stars. I am the soul of the universe. And so are you. When I look into your eyes, I can see a sunrise. I can see the skies, the nighttime skies, the morning skies. We need to surrender to this soul that we have. We need to really give it up for the soul that is in us. We need to really allow ourselves to feel what we feel and know what we know. Surrender to something inside of it. We need to surrender to our dreams. How many people here have dreams? We need to surrender to them, not fight to make them happen. We need to just surrender and allow them to happen. We need to surrender to our passions. We need to surrender to our imagination. How many times have you stopped your imagination by telling yourself, oh, I'll never be able to do that? No, it's time to stop that. To surrender to our imagination, to surrender to the ideas that come through us. Goethe says, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in us. We need to surrender to our boldness. We need to surrender to the power. We need to surrender to our genius. William James said, to change one's life, start immediately and do it flamboyantly. And that's what William James said. He probably didn't do that. But to change one's life, start immediately, do it flamboyantly, with no exceptions. I think it's time for us to let go of our exceptions. What do you think? I think it's time for us to let go of our yeah buts. Yes? I don't give a damn what anyone thinks anymore. And I think that's a great place to be. Because if I'm going to do what I do flamboyantly, with no exceptions, then I'm not going to be looking around to see if anyone appreciates it or agrees with it. I'm going to trust and do what comes through me, what is mine to do. And if it's not yours to do, you'll find someone else who is yours to do. I'm not touching that. George Bernard Shaw said, the people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. You and I have that within us that is the maker of all things. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's who I am. I am that place where Spirit has decided to do something. And not just something. I am that place where Spirit has decided to do something that matters. And I am that place where Spirit has said, are you willing to allow yourself, to open yourself up to me so that I may move through you and do what will really matter, not just to the universe, but to you. I will unlock the joy in you. I will unlock the fearlessness in you. I will unlock the success in you. I will unlock the prosperity in you. I will unlock the creativity in you. That's what's in there, just waiting to get out. Oh, my goodness. Jonathan Winters, the great metaphysician, he said, if your ship doesn't come in, swim out to it. I think it's time we did some swimming, don't you? I was watching a guy on television from Long Island who was in scuba gear. And they took a boat out to interview him. And they said, what are you doing out here? And he looked at the guy and he went, well, last week I could walk these streets. This week I swim them. And he said, doesn't that bother you? He said, hey, no, give me air, I walk. You give me water, I'll swim. Whatever you give me, I got it. I thought that guy was so... And you know, people were... And they were laughing. They were like, well, we don't know what's going to happen to him. I'm like, I do. He's a survivor. He is going to make lemonade out of whatever lemons they throw at him. Many years ago, I got to do a play called Colette Collage, and I got to learn about the life of the great French writer Colette. And I'd like to leave us with this quote of hers today. She writes here at the end of one of her books, she says, what a wonderful life I've had. I only wished I'd realized it sooner. When I look into your eyes, I get to watch the morning skies. I get to see a brilliant sunrise. There's so much you can hold. I came here today to let you know that there is that within you that is waiting to just be let out. And to tell you that you are up to holding a bigger dream. You are up to holding a bigger reality. You are up to holding a bigger life. Because there is that in you that is just bursting, ready to get out. That is saying, just let me unlock your door. Unlock the door today. Because guess what? You have no idea what's behind it. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.